Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the FTW podcast, the wrestling world in all of its laughable glory. Today's episode is our Royal Rumble preview show, recorded live on January 26th, 2013. With us today is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, folks. What's going on?
Lee. Say hello, Lee.
I've got a feeling this show just isn't going to go very well.
Probably not. Mike from PW Torch, how you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And our special guest, the first time she's been on the show, Juliet. How are you doing?
Good morning.
If you're listening to the show through iTunes, YouTube, or through your favorite podcast player, make sure to check out theftwpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in upcoming discussions. You can also find us on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. All of those links are on the website. Just go to ftwpodcast.com. And if you're listening live through ftwlive.com, glad you can join us. All right, so this is our Royal Rumble 2013 preview show. That's about all we're going to be talking about is the upcoming card, what we know about it, and what our predictions are. But before we do that, anything happened on main event or SmackDown that's relevant to tonight, Mike?
Not so much on main event. Main event was kind of a clunky show. They didn't really announce anything, and they just had a Ryback Cesaro match that ended with a count out. But over on SmackDown, it was very heavy on hyping the individual matches for the Royal Rumble, the tag title match and the world title and the WWE title match. They had a face off between Rock and Punk where I thought Rock cut, one of his better promos since this little feud, since he came back to TV a few weeks ago. He was very serious and did a good job selling that he wants the title and Punk's days are numbered and he'll be leaving the Rumble with the title. I thought it was a very, very good segment between the two. Also, they did a 6-man tag elimination match. They did Team Hell No and Alberto Del Rio versus the Big Show and Rhodes Scholars. They did this clever way of eliminating guys in the match. It would have Big Show would knock him out with the WMD and then kick him to the floor and then count to 10, like he was, the last man standing for the match, and ended up knocking out both members of Team Hell No, and he tried doing the same thing to ADR, but ADR was able to roll back into the ring. And then come back and win the match. I thought it was, very good way of building up their, what they're going to be doing on Sunday.
Well,
and then they did a little bit with the tag titles and the U.S. title, but, not as much as they did with the world titles.
Sure. And, just looking back to things that we have heard, feedback given to us, and just looking at the rest of the IWC over on, Twitter and Facebook, it seems like everyone is, sort of pointing out that WWE failed to really build the Royal Rumble. Like you just said, Mike, they spent a lot of time on the individual matches, both on Raw and SmackDown this week. Do you think that they spent enough time on selling the actual Royal Rumble match?
No, I don't, but it seems like every year they don't really sell the Rumble match. The Rumble sells itself. It's one of those pay-per-views where people will buy it just because they're having a Royal Rumble, and as long as they know that, a few top guys will be in there, they will buy the pay-per-view. I think it's the extra matches, like having The Rock will be a big attraction for the Rumble. I think that'll really, increase the number of buys for the pay-per-view. I think that's where they focus, because I think that's where they know they'll get those extra buys from.
Anyone agree or disagree or want to add anything?
Yeah, I think Punk and Rock, I think that adds a little attraction easily to the Rumble, because, as Mike said, the Rumble's already, everyone's going to buy it pre-show in advance anyway. So, adding a Punk Rock match to that is only beneficial. It's going to be one of the better buy rates, it's got to be. And it's looking forward to it anyway. It should be a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a solid pay-per-view, I think. But I do think Mike's slightly wrong in the Rumble sells itself. It does to an extent, but there's always got to be something something that seems unpredictable about it nowadays, and for the last several years, it's been very formulaic. So something else, some big thing. I mean, if say the Shield were supposed to be in the Rumble and they were the first 3 entered, like that could be interesting. If you know, that way everybody's got to come in and the Shield's just taking them out one by one.
I had that exact thought a few days ago. I thought, man, that'd be really cool if, the Shield came in 1, 2, 3. But that's something they did that a few years ago with the new Nexus. I don't know if they exactly do that. I kind of see like the Shield might come in like as a unit. Even though it's kind of against the rules, I have a feeling that they'll come in as a group, whether they're official or not, and kind of do their thing in the Rumble, and then have someone, maybe Ryback then gets entered and he sends them back in, or I don't know.
I could see something like that. I don't know. There's been no good opening to a Rumble since Axe and Smash pulled number 1 and number 2.
Well, you've just wiped my decade out completely, so I'm going to completely ignore it.
Oh, come on, Lee. You've never seen a Demolition match?
Oh, I've seen a Demolition match. Just not when I was born. So, no. I'll just sweep
you are a baby, aren't you?
I know, I'm young. I'm still priming in my youth.
How old are you in American years?
In American years, about 60.
Yeah.
About 60 in American years.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to.
It's all that sweet corn.
Let's go ahead and move on to the Royal Rumble itself. We're going to start off with the YouTube pre-show. Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz. The U.S. title is on the line. So let's go ahead, run through our predictions. We'll start off with Lee. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
Well, The Miz is kind of my man. I was the one who predicted The Miz is going to do great things as a face, and of course it's worked out where he's actually not been that good and he's been pretty crap. So you can't have Cesaro lose, really. He's going to build it up at least to probably a WrestleMania, then he'll probably lose it. But The Miz is a good opponent, so it's a hard choice, but I'm sticking with Cesaro, to be honest with you. I can't see him losing at the Royal Rumble. I can't see him losing until WrestleMania again, so that's my pick.
Mike?
I'm gonna go with Cesaro retaining the title. I'd like to see this go on maybe for another month or so. I think they've got a good dynamic. I really like Antonio Cesaro, like the little things that he's adding to his gimmick now of sarcastically waving the American flag and having the flag on his tights. Just those little things I think are really helping his character come together. And I'd like to see him, keep working with The Miz, maybe have The Miz take the title at WrestleMania, but I think Cesaro's going to retain on Sunday.
That sounds exactly like what I've just said, but no, carry on, it's fine.
All right, Juliet, you have any thoughts on this match? What are your predictions?
Well, I think that although Cesaro may win, I'll be rooting for The Miz simply because I root for anyone who opposes Cesaro. I hate his gimmick. I know everyone loves, his wrestling moves and stuff, but that whole waving the American flag thing doesn't do it for me. I didn't like him when he was with Oksana. And plus I do think Miz needs some help coming across as a face. So I'm hoping for Miz.
Joe?
You do have a point in that, but I don't see the Miz winning, only because Miz in the last 2 years has held tag team gold. He's held the WWE title. He's held the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title. So, I mean, he doesn't need the title.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've got the opinion that he's going to lose. It's going to be a good match, but I think Cesaro needs a win over a former world champion to help him.
You've got a good point. I think Cesaro probably will win. I'm just saying I would much rather see The Miz win.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I think you have a point when you say that, though, because Cesaro, it wasn't really over when he was with Oksana. He's not technically really over now. I mean, he's good, but he's still not over. He's not still in yet. If you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, the new tries is brilliant, but he's still not. No. It's not reached the full potential yet.
Well, it's not. I mean, he's suffering from the Oksana curse. Anything she gets involved with dies a slow, horrid death. Look at Teddy Long.
Teddy Long, whoa, Joe. Teddy Long was way before Oksana when anything started with Teddy Long.
I know, but you know, the re-downslide that happened for Teddy Long.
The re-downslide.
Yes. When you thought the muck couldn't get any deeper, and then it did. Was when he started the romantic angle with Oksana, which then brought forth Cesaro eventually. At least he kicked her to the curb.
At least Teddy Long will forever live on when a general manager comes out to start the show by making a tag team match.
Yeah, and the time he came out and there was a tag team match already going on, you're like, ooh, what's he gonna do?
I don't think I'll ever forget that time where he didn't make a tag team match, he made just like 3 different singles matches and everyone was just sat there in shock as to what?
Or he did the Fatal 4-Way. That's
still, yeah, it just not a tag match, it was mad. Like 4 guys in the ring and there was no tag match, it was literally like raw. It was the biggest moment of the night, if I remember rightly from Raw.
Poor Teddy Long. He should go back to being a ref. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm in the same boat with you guys. I really like Antonio Cesaro. Overall, I think he needs to continue, but because of how they've tried to push Miz, nothing seems to really have worked yet. You have him partner with Ric Flair, who's over like crazy. You even give him the figure 4, and Miz is still not connecting with everyone like he should. So I'm almost thinking, along the lines of what Juliet said, you put the title on Miz and it gives him something more, it gives him some, legitimacy, because he really hasn't done anything for a long time. It just seems like he's just been plateauing. So I think this will be a nice step in the right direction for him. So I'm going to go with Miz.
Do you not remember when the Miz got arrested in Survivor Series 2000, or the pay-per-view before Survivor 2011? Survivor Series. He got arrested with R-Truth. How bad was that?
I don't.
Oh yeah, when him and R-Truth did that run in at Hell in the Cell.
Oh, that, yes. Well, but see, that's the thing. Like, that whole thing got. That would have been perfect for them, but for some reason they just dropped it. They dropped that entire angle. So I don't really see that as anything positive for him, because it never went anywhere. It never did anything.
Oh, it naturally led to that walkout that they did. You remember that walkout that lasted 16 minutes?
Okay. I'm going to stop you there. No, sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there, because that walkout was really good. No, the walkout itself was crap. But the first time, the opening segment with John Cena, Sheamus, CM Punk, and Triple H, that was brilliant. Until they announced John Laurinaitis was the GM. Then I think it was 1.2 million people turned off. It was a great little first segment.
Well, still, I think this would be a nice push in the right direction, because he, despite all the things that we're listing, nothing is happening for him. Nothing happening, in a good direction. I think this will help. Go ahead.
And that figure 4 that Miz does looks atrocious. Oh my God. Ric Flair is spinning on his bar stool every time he puts that on.
That figure 4 leg lock was one of the worst things I've seen since that John Cena promo last Monday.
He did another terrible figure 4 on SmackDown. Oh my God, it looked terrible. How does a wrestler not know how to put on the figure 4? Oh my gosh. And being taught by Ric Flair too. I don't know. That was like, when I was a kid, that was like the first move I learned how to do as a figure 4.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
hang on a minute.
for me, it was a sharpshooter.
Yeah, sharpshooter's more was more in my neighborhood.
The live chat is also saying Cesaro will win. It seems like that's where everyone in the live chat's going. Anything else for this match, guys, before we move on?
No, I don't think so. I think if it was on like the actual pay-per-view, I'd have more thoughts on it. But with it being a pre-show match, I don't really think too much of it.
Yeah, move on.
All right. The next match in our list is the Tag Team Championships match. Kane and Daniel Bryan versus the Rhodes Scholars. Let's go ahead and go through this match as well. Lee, you start us.
I think we've seen the last of Kane and Daniel Bryan at the minute. I think this is getting to the point now where they're going to start breaking up as such. We had the whole Dr. Shelby angle on Monday. Now that's finished. I think it's got to be time for it's Cody and what's that name?
Damien Sandow.
Damien Sandow, thank you so much. Cody and Damien Sandow, yeah. And also I think they've got much more chance of building that way up again, rather than Kane and Bryan, who are now just way over. So they don't need the titles anymore anyway. So yeah, I think we're going to see a title change.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rhodes Scholars to win as well. I think Kane and Daniel Bryan, they're finally starting to get stale. Some people would argue that they were stale, a month after they started their gimmick, but part of me thinks though that if they were to put the titles on Rhodes Scholars, why didn't they do it last month or one of the other 5 title matches they've had in the last 2 months? But there's a small part of me that thinks Kane and Daniel Bryan might retain, but I'm going to go with Rhodes and Sandow for this match.
All right, Juliet?
I think I'm in the minority here in thinking that I'm just not finished with Team Hell No. I still find every promo that they got entertaining. It makes me smile. I tweet about it. But, I do agree that I think we are going to see the tag team titles go to Rhodes Scholars. They've been just getting better, every year. Their gimmick is just gotten, I think, increasingly better. And I already like Sandow. He's one of my favorites. I've liked him since he annoyingly came on in the beginning holding the microphone like a glass of wine or something. I love it. So this is actually the match I think that I'm probably the most excited to watch. And I'll be happy with either one.
I think it's going to be a good match. It's going to be a nice, solid match, either way you look at it. But I think that we're going to see Team Rhodes Scholars win. Especially after that match they did on main event of Team Rhodes Scholars versus the Usos. The Usos have been doing some really solid work lately, and I think this is where we're going to go with. I think it's going to be Rhodes Scholars versus the Usos going forward for the next stint, with other teams, playing kind of background roles, just to warm them up like they've been doing with the Usos. But I'm excited for the tag team division, and I want more. I want more teams. So we'll see where we go.
And I agree with you, Joe. I'm looking at this, and although I loved everything that they did with Kane and Daniel Bryan, I don't think they need the tag titles to do it. It's almost a prop at this point. They can do the same type of segments and the same type of stories without the tag titles, especially now that they have agreed that they are the tag team champions. Not it's no longer like they're fighting back and forth. So I think right. Taking the titles off them now gives an opportunity for them to maybe branch off, but I almost want to see them stick in the tag team division and just help solidify it, because as of right now, we were looking at them as maybe the guys who were going to help, put that veteran style of wrestling and, just legitimacy back into the tag race. And they started to, but it has gotten kind of dormant. So yeah, if you take the titles off of them, it gets just a breath of fresh air, and it allows for more teams to get involved, like the Usos. Bring back the primetime players as more of a tag team force, because they really haven't been for months. Mike, you're going to say?
Because I fast forward through every single match that they're in. That's why you haven't seen them.
Okay, that too.
Then I don't think you're going to get your share of the millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
I'm still waiting for my part of that.
I was really disappointed to see Tyson Kidd get injured. What him and Justin Gabriel were doing in the tag division, I was really liking their dynamic that they had. And so that's a tough break for them. I thought they might be that it was going to be their turn next with the tag titles, that maybe they would transition, that Rhodes and Sandow transition to Ken Gabriel. But now I agree with Joe. I think Usos are next. You know, they've been doing some really good things on Main Event. You know, they've been on Superstars a lot. And they had a good winning streak going on as opposed to the Primetime Players. I think they're on a 10 or 11 match losing streak right now. Pretty far from 6 months ago when I was predicting them to be the next New Age Outlaws for the WWE, and you know then they had that whole debacle with Abraham Washington, and I don't know if they're being punished for that, but man, they've just gone downhill in the last 4 or 5 months.
I still like the Primetime Players though.
Oh yeah, I do too. It's sad. It's just sad to see where they're at right now. I think they've got so much potential.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, to be brutal, I prefer them rather than the Usos. I'm kind of with you on that, to be honest with you, because I'm not a massive fan of the Usos. I mean, the work's good, but like, nothing special. Just to me.
I don't know. I like them, but just to touch on Mike's comment about Gabriel and Kidd, they remind me a lot of London and Kendrick when they were around. And they were a team to watch. I mean, every time they got in the ring, they were going to do something crazy. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it wasn't like Attitude Era crazy, like, you know, like a tag team TLC kind of match or something. You know, it's not like the Hardys versus Edge and Christian or anything like that. But you saw something interesting every match. It wasn't that cookie cutter Rey Mysterio type match.
Yeah, it was good athletic action they were putting on.
Oh yeah, and I look forward to seeing what happens when Kidd comes back. But I think we have another 6 months before that happens.
Yeah, something like that. I don't even think they know. I think they put it at 6 to 9 months, or 8 to 11 or so. I mean, it could be up to a year.
So that went from 6 to 9 to 11 to a year.
Yeah, I know. Nobody knows.
All right. Well,
there we go.
The live chat is pretty much siding with Rhodes Scholars to take the titles home. Again, yeah, I think that's the best direction. But I still love Kane and Bryan. I hope they don't split them up with a loss. But I guess time will tell.
I'd like to see Kane kind of go nuts in the Rumble then after losing the title, and going against all of his anger management classes, and just tossing guys over again and becoming the big red monster again.
Right.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Well, I think they're going to lose. I don't think they're going to split them up yet. I think we at least have another month. I mean, that could end up being a program for the two of them for WrestleMania. Kane versus Daniel Bryan.
That's it. It will be.
Yeah, I'd like them to do something to kind of build back Daniel Bryan again. Because, I mean, he was at the top, and then I think he was really the one that kind of lost out with the Team Hell No. Is they've really kind of put him, as like the lesser of the two.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's got great technical skills. I mean, we saw it up until his 18-second loss. I mean, he was just phenomenal in the ring, and then he gets into this, and he's still good in the ring, but yeah, he's definitely being downplayed, especially when he gets hair like Garvin when he, dresses up.
Right.
I don't mind the beard, but I think Daniel Bryan needs a haircut.
Daniel Bryan needs to pretty much just get Garth's haircut. Would be perfect. In fact, no, actually, think about it. Looking at your webcam, Garth, it is you without glasses. It is literally you without glasses.
I think Daniel Bryan's perfect. So I have no changes for him.
You think that's funny? When Garvin and I were at the Clash Wrestling show last weekend, we did have a few people come up to him and go, "Yes, yes, yes," including Roddy Hogan.
It'd be even funny if someone asked for his autograph. It'd be fucking brilliant.
One of my friends back in the early 2000s dressed up like Bubba Ray for a wrestling show, and people actually stopped him for an autograph.
Oh wow! You mean he gained a bit of weight?
My friend was a bigger guy, so.
All right, okay. Who was Devon?
Nobody was Devon.
He was getting the table.
Nobody wanted to be Devon. Yeah. He was off getting the tables. Good one, Gareth.
All right, so let's before we get into the title matches and the actual Rumble, let's talk about a possible speculation match. This has been talked a lot, both on our last episode on Tuesday, and we also have heard it pretty much all around the IWC. The idea that maybe there's going to be a Divas Championship match, or at least, a Divas Rumble of some sort. But I hate the idea of a Divas Rumble. Yeah, if you look at, I want to say it was last year's Royal Rumble, there was a Divas Rumble. I don't think it was for the title. I don't remember what it was for, but
I think it was for number one contendership.
No, they did a 8-person tag match.
Was that it?
They did an 8-person tag match.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for a tag match this year. With the title just changing hands, it's not too close to that 30-day must defend, so they'll probably hold it off for another pay-per-view.
Yeah, and they really haven't built up anything, so
that's okay. They didn't really build up Layla losing it either, and they did that.
True.
I think maybe they'll do a tag match. They'll do, I don't know, Caitlyn and Natalya, or Caitlyn and Layla versus Oksana and Alicia Fox or something. So I'm sure they'll bring the Divas out for 5 minutes or so.
How long? 5 minutes?
Yes, that's including ring intros.
That is not enough to get a hot dog.
Especially with the lines the way they're going to be when they realize it's a Divas match.
Do you know, it'd be very funny just one day when a Divas match has gone on, you just see the arena completely empty and it becomes an empty arena match and everyone's going to get some merch off.
I really wish WWE would do something. Get some more solid women wrestlers instead of these pretty faces they try to contort into a wrestler.
Turn it up.
Yeah, not to throw too much prediction into that, but I mean they have Paige in NXT. She looks pretty solid as a wrestler. I can't recall what the other woman is called in NXT, but she's great. They have picked up some indie people. There's also rumors that Karma might be returning. So there are opportunities. It's just that they need to give them solid TV time because they have Natalya, Tamina. They both can put on some good work. Caitlyn is getting good. So I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities out there. They just need to pull the trigger, really.
And of course, AJ.
AJ is another one that
if they decide to put her back in the division.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other matches that you guys have heard anything about? Or should we just move on?
No, I haven't heard too many. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the world title match. It is going to be ADR defending against the Big Show in a last man standing match. Start off with Lee. Your predictions for this match.
Yeah, so we're going to see the same match that we saw on SmackDown and a pay-per-view, okay?
Yes.
Let's just start that off. Yeah, okay. Anyway, does anyone really think ADR's going to lose? Come on, he's just won the title. Does anyone think he's going to lose? He's not going to lose. I mean, it's gonna be a good, decent match, but there's no. I mean, again, we go back to the whole: is Dolph going to win? Is Dolph going to get the title? But again, it's a perfect last man standing match. Is pretty much the perfect time for Dolph to cash in. So it's tempting to say Dolph can cash in this time, but again, I think Dolph will hang on. I really do.
Yeah, I'm going to go with ADR retaining. Seems like they're really going all in with him. I won't be surprised if the fact that they are going all in with ADR as their, top face on SmackDown is maybe moving back the timetable on putting the title on Dolph. Every 3 months I'm changing my prediction as to when he's going to cash in. I thought he was going to do it at WrestleMania. Now I'm thinking that they might even push it back even farther than that just to give Del Rio more time on top as champion.
But how do you put it? Well, I guess you're right. I guess because the Money in the Bank pay-per-view's in June. In theory, he only has till then. Or does he have till WrestleMania? I mean, I know the old case when they used to do it when they only did it at WrestleMania went, you had till WrestleMania. But
the briefcase is good for up to 1 year. So he's got until July something or whatever.
What if he cashes in at actual Money in the Bank?
I don't know. I think they're doing Money in the Bank in June this year. I think they're doing it a month early.
No, that's when they've been doing it. I thought.
Oh, it's always been in July because I've always been on vacation.
So you missed the best pay-per-view in the
Oh,
year.
right. Over
Yes.
the Limit has been... Over the Limit's been the June pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it?
Oh, God, they can get rid of Over the Limit straight away. It's the worst pay-per-view of the year.
I don't know,
pretty good last
bragging
year.
rights was really bad.
You look at the last 2 years of Over the Limit and you tell me how bad it's been. We had John Cena versus R-Truth and John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. Jesus Christ.
Right now, as it stands, Money in the Bank is on July 14th.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that might
The
be-
June 16th pay-per-view, hey, day before my birthday, is yet to be announced.
Oh,
So, okay, Juliet, your thoughts on this match?
Well, I'm really liking Big Show now. Like at first when he turned heel, I was really upset about it, but he's really selling it now. The whole taunting the crowd in English and Spanish, last night, turning the table over on ADR. I really think he's working it well. And, when Alberto Del Rio turned face, that was the first time I ever started watching his matches. But I don't feel like there was enough of a build-up for him to take the title. So I'm actually rooting for Big Show. I hope that he wins because I'd like to see this feud kind of continue and actually, build up to something that's a little more meaningful.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm thinking ADR is going to retain only for a possibility of a Dolph cash-in, but Big Show is doing tremendous work. He works better chasing a title than he does holding one, I think. There were a lot of guys like that, though. Like, Edge was always usually good like that. He did his best work in pursuit of a title. And Big Show's just great. I mean, he's still a guy I would go out to the bar with in an instant, but, I like the evil streak, the sarcastic moves, flipping the table over on ADR, since ADR ended up getting him with that before, it's awesome and good work on you, Big Show, but I think ADR is going to retain.
the only issue I have with the Big Show recently is when he squashed Kofi straight away, and Kofi's just so 15 seconds or something like that, and any kind of good things they built with Kofi just died in that moment.
Yeah, but if someone's got to take a fall, might as well make it a guy who's in the
might as well make it the guy they're pushing. Yeah,
I think Kofi Kingston is just a toy that Vince McMahon got bored of playing with rather quickly, and he's been put back in the box for a few months till he needs him again. I thought Kofi was gonna get a decent push after dropping that IC title, but boy was I wrong.
Well, he's taking on the John Morrison role. He's gonna do good work in the ring, but Vince has something against him, so we won't see him elevate. The only reason we're seeing him is because he gets a pop.
This is from the live chat. I don't see how ADR doesn't retain if they have any plan to keep him relevant. He needs a title for a good long while to build some credibility as a top face. Do you guys agree with that statement?
The problem with that though is didn't Sheamus have the title for God knows how long, and he eventually started getting booed. It was like becoming Cena.
Well, it's that cookie cutter match again. Even when Sheamus won the title, he was like in a triple threat initially. Defending it.
Is it WrestleMania?
Oh, which time are you talking about?
No, the first time he won the title, TLC against Cena, but then when he won the world title against DB.
No, he won in a fatal 4-way back in 2010 off of Cena after the Nexus ran in.
No, maybe it was a defense after he won at WrestleMania. But for a while after WrestleMania, after he won the title, there were matches where, if there's three guys. I remember there being three guys in the ring, and he was involved in the very beginning of the match. Then he got knocked out and thrown to the side of the ring until the very end of the match. Like, he didn't do a damn thing. And, he just coasted on that. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. Well, I mean, it was more like, hey, I'm going to go out and get a hot dog and some snacks, and I'll come back and finish the match later. I mean, it was just bad. I think it involves Ziggler of all people. Anyway,
Yeah.
now my brain's fried.
Just they did like a fatal 4-way match, I think, back in June, where it was Jericho, Ziggler, ADR, and Sheamus. It was supposed to be Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio, and for some reason they changed it to a 4-way match.
Gotcha.
I want to say that was like May or June.
God, I remember that now. It was that bloody awful run of Sheamus Del Rio matches, wasn't it? Oh, fuck, that's awful.
Yeah, those are horrible matches.
It was worse than worse.
Well, I am also going to go with Del Rio winning. And what I'm torn about is the whole Dolph cashing. You know, I still think that, the perfect ending that I see is Dolph cashing in and winning Royal Rumble. I think that is how you would build a star out of Dolph very quickly. And I think it's almost something they need to do, but I don't know. Something tells me they won't do it just because it's too perfect.
I don't think
The only reason.
Go ahead, Juliet.
I was just gonna say I don't think people would buy it. I think the WWE might like to do that, but I think Dolph's gonna cash in, but I don't think it's gonna be on this match. I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Lee?
I thought a fun little scenario would be to have Dolph win the Royal Rumble and, challenge, let's say Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania, starts the match by just whacking him in the head with the briefcase, getting disqualified, and then cashing in and beating him. I think it'd be stupid and the crowd would crap all over it, but
it's a good idea, but the only reason I can think of that Dolph would start number 1 and win is to get rid of the whole Chris Benoit is the last person who won from number 1.
Mm-hmm. I can see that, and with Ziggler being the one who put Jericho out last time, and Jericho being the first undisputed champion ever, they could be passing a torch here to Ziggler. Because, Cena's getting up there. He's still working day in, day out, but he's slowing down. And it's been said a few times that he's looking to start to easing more into a Triple H to Taker schedule. Where you're working the major pay-per-views and such, but not week in, week out. They need to build a new star, and I definitely think Ziggler's got the cojones for it.
Ziggler's the only one who looks slightly promising at the minute, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not like you can do anything like rumpling paper like Lee does, or fight do Sin Cara.
Do you know what, Joe? Do you know what I'm doing? I'm getting some chocolate next to me because I'm hungry. And during these podcasts, unfortunately, we all need a bit of food. Because I'm not American. I don't eat constantly every minute. I have to take a break in between meals. Okay?
I want pizza.
Oh, yeah. With sweet corn. I'm just saying, use your mute button, man, for fuck's sake.
All right, let's move on.
Why don't you get yourself a nice mayonnaise pizza, Lee?
Mayonnaise pizza.
Get Domino's later.
Sweet corn.
Let's move on. The WWE Championship match, the match of the night as far as how they've built up the pay-per-view and all the pay-per-view posters and whatnot. CM Punk versus The Rock. Who you got, Lee?
Pretty hard match because this is going to go either way. There's, which is obvious. It's CM Punk it's unlikely, isn't it? But the only way I can see CM Punk winning is if he loses the next month at Elimination Chamber. That's the only way I can see him doing that. The odds are in favour of The Rock. They've got to be. He's got so much momentum. It's been planned for months that The Rock's going to win. There's been no obvious sign he's going to lose. All this bullshit about, he prayed to God, so then he's definitely going to win. All that rubbish. It's hard. It's hard to choose because to me they could both win, and I'm going to put my neck out and I'm going to say CM Punk just because of the whole. It's so unlikely that I think he may actually win.
I'm going to go with The Rock on this. I think it's just been the plan. I think back in July they came up with this game plan of what they're going to do to build WrestleMania, and come hell or high water, they're going to stick with that plan. Even if they have to kill off guys like Ryback and anyone else who had any credibility going up against Punk, that they're going with Punk and Rock at the Rumble, and Rock's going to go over to build Rock versus Cena at WrestleMania. I think they're just that's their plan, and they're sticking with it.
I stick by that's an awful idea, but it looks like they're going that way.
Juliet, what do you think?
This is where I'm going to make my bold prediction here. I don't like CM Punk and the whole storyline that they've been using, and I love The Rock. But here's what I think. I think this is where you're going to see the Shield go ahead and interfere because it's an injustice for either one of them to win. CM Punk because, he's no longer popular with the people, and The Rock because he basically just shows up to like every, big thing, and swoops in without really being involved in any other matches. So I think the Shield is going to come in and interfere and knock them both out. And I think Dolph's going to cash in.
Well,
That's my prediction.
Dolph can't cash in on the WWE title. Only the world. But I love the idea.
Still.
I love the idea of what you're saying because that all would make sense.
All right. Well then, I think maybe. Oh fuck! I do think that we've got to see the Shield interfere. I know that they are talking about a lot of other people coming in to interfere, but I really just don't want to see either one of them win, to be honest.
Okay. I know I'm going to shit on your parade here, and I apologize for this, but are the Shield banned from interfering?
No, if they interfere, Punk is stripped of the title.
Yeah.
And on SmackDown, Punk he called them out to the ring and asked them to not interfere in the match, and
that's nice.
They didn't give an answer. They kind of just it looked like they were going to attack them, and then they backed off and went back through the crowd. It was kind of like they were kind of saying that they weren't going to. They're implying it.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at this match going, well, they're probably going to have The Rock win, but who says this has to end here? And there needs to be a title change. And a DQ doesn't strip him of the title, just as long as the Shield doesn't get involved. I think there's going to be a DQ or a count out, and Punk's going to retain. So Rock will get the win. It'll be after a long match, but I don't think... I'm going to go with Punk retaining.
Okay, Joe, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there. If they did a whole... if they did a whole DQ or count out at the end of a match that's pretty much been hyped up for 6 months, you are going to see heads fly. You're going to see crowds rioting.
Well,
DQ or a count out.
They say
but it doesn't mean
riot,
that Rock doesn't have more dates booked. They can still do another match where there's a title change.
I know, but the problem is they've built this for God knows how long now, and they've pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. There's no way we're going to get a DQ. No way.
What are the possibilities in your mind, albeit slim, that Brock Lesnar interferes and we see Rock versus Lesnar at WrestleMania?
It can happen, but it won't be a DQ. The ref will be knocked out or something. It still won't be a DQ.
I don't know. I think the idea of the Shield still getting involved makes sense. Whether that's
I think they would after the match.
Yeah, but
I
go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead. No, you finish your thought.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it would be difficult to strip Punk of the title if Shield interferes. If Shield goes after Punk and just destroys him like they've destroyed Ryback and so on and so forth. Like if they put Punk through the table and that ends the match, can they still would they still strip Punk of the title?
No, I'm saying interfere in the match. If everything is done afterwards, I don't see what the problem is. To me, one thing that I think will be interesting in this match is the ending of it. I don't think anyone's expecting a clean win from The Rock or a clean win from Punk. Everyone's throwing out 1,000 scenarios, and Rock hits him with a rock bottom 1, 2, 3. Isn't a scenario being put in there, or a GTS 1, 2, 3 isn't a scenario people are throwing out there. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really anxious to see what they do, how they get out of this match, and where the road to WrestleMania goes from here. I also I say that they're going to do Rock versus Cena. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a triple threat match and they threw Punk in there somehow. How they get to that, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, with Royal Rumble match and Elimination Chamber next month.
I wouldn't mind if they did a triple threat match. I wouldn't be that bothered. It's the Rock versus Cena that gets me.
It gets you what?
It gets me annoyed because there's no point. There's no point doing it twice in a lifetime match.
Okay. No, I agree with you. With it being, them touting as once in a lifetime, never again, never before, never again. They don't need to redo the match. I like the idea of the triple threat. You had cut out right, and you didn't say annoyed, so I wasn't sure if it got you hard or if it got you annoyed or got you.
No, it didn't get me hard. No, I don't particularly like Cena. I mean, I know they put on spandex and they're all oiled up, but no.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go with Punk. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a clean win. They've done... I don't know. It just seems like a good opportunity. If they take the title off of Punk and give it to Rock, I think that's a travesty overall. I think there's a lot more that they can do with Punk holding the title. But go ahead, Mike.
I'd like to see them pull out that little gimmick during the match where Punk intentionally gets himself disqualified, and then Vince McMahon comes out and does well, if you get disqualified, I'm stripping you of the title, and then the match starts again, and Punk gets counted out, and Vince does if you get counted out, I think that'd be a nice little gimmick they can do, put some heat on the match, or a little bit more heat on the match.
Right.
Do an Inferno match if you want heat. Hey.
Hey. Well, Mike, if they do something like that, I definitely see Punk winning.
Yeah.
Because then you stack the deck so far against him. At that point, a win for The Rock is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been so many times he couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And then he's got to have Vince come out and, basically hand it to him. Come on.
All right, well, let's move on to the Royal Rumble. This is the reason for the pay-per-view itself. We have about 18 names that were officially entered. Cena, Orton, Sheamus, Ryback, Miz, Dolph, Antonio Cesaro, Wade Barrett, Kofi, Khali, Kane, Daniel Bryan, Jinder Mahal, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, and the NXT tournament. There's an NXT tournament happening, I believe it's either today or tomorrow, and the winner of that will get an opportunity in the Royal Rumble, an official spot. So there's Corey Graves, Oliver Gray, Luke Harper, Xavier Woods, Connor O'Brien, Adrian Neville, Bo Dallas, and Leo Kruger. A pretty awesome idea, I think, especially because we've all been kind of hyped on who they've been bringing up in NXT. Joe, you were gonna say something?
I'm going back over. I want to go back over that list. That's right. Yeah, Luke Harper. I'm really hoping wins that one. At least I know he's been in Ohio and stuff. He's been the wrestler known as Brody Lee.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Huge guy, team beard.
Yes.
The guy's a great powerhouse. He's great to watch, and it really looks like he just crawled out of a redneck sewer. So that's cool too.
I'm going to go back a little bit further than that, just for a minute, because the list that you've got in front of me, started with Cena, Orton, Sheamus, Ryback.
Yes.
And then you have names like Jinder Mahal, Slater, why do you even bother writing them down? I mean, what the hell, apart from some delusional hypocrite from the 19th century, is going to write down fucking Heath Slater to win a Royal Rumble match?
Well, anything can happen in the the World Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
Yeah, look at how they tease.
I'm sorry, Mike. No, I'm sorry, Mike. That was the World Wrestling Federation. We're now into the World Wrestling Entertainment, so not anything can happen. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but when Titan Sports gets involved, it's just. But no, I mean, if you look at the Royal Rumble last year, how bad did they tease a Santino win?
I'll give it over. They didn't tease it at all. You knew Alberto Del Rio was out there. I knew it. Everyone else knew it.
You waited that long, and then he pops back up. You're like, holy shit, are they going to actually do something with this? I mean, he could have lost it in a match on the next night on Raw, but could they?
If you had Santino win, can you imagine how pissed off people would have been leaving that pay-per-view?
I don't know. I was there in Boston. People were popping pretty hard. And
okay, Mike. Okay.
My buddy's sitting next to me. He's jumping up and he's like, Santino's gonna. He's a huge Santino fan. Oh my God, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Watch Mike. I go, he's not gonna win. And DDR threw him out.
Lee, I think you were the only one who didn't want Santino to win.
But when you get over the whole initial, Santino won, and then you actually think about it, wait, Santino won the Rumble? What the fuck? I'm going to see Santino in the main event of WrestleMania.
It doesn't mean it's not like
it
doesn't mean that it's not going to be like a beat the clock, or what was it?
You may as well.
The championship scramble. There we go.
You may as well have another Royal Rumble in the main event of WrestleMania to decide the winner of the World Championship with Santino. That's what you may as well do.
I think if Santino won, the people be happy, and then their next thought would be like, okay, how are they going to get out of this? How are they going to screw Santino out of his main event slot? How are they going to put it on, John Cena?
I think what would be funny. What would be funny if they made someone like Jinder Mahal go right to the end, and then they accidentally did a spot where, say, CM Punk came in last, and then CM Punk was accidentally knocked off the ropes by Jinder Mahal, and Jinder Mahal's just kind of like standing there, like winning, like what?
Oh God, I will stop
on?
watching. Why are we on this tangent?
Hey man, Slater's going to slate.
All right, so there's also a bunch of people that are likely going to be entered that are on the the mid card, the low card. There's also a bunch of possible surprise entrants that we're all hearing and thinking. Plus, you got to think that the loser of the world title match or the loser of the WWE title match might enter as well. So let's start off. I'm going to start off with Joe this time. Joe, you're going with Kali, right?
Oh. No. I'm going to go flat out and say Booker T will not be making an appearance in the Royal Rumble this year. After the Lawler,
I'm glad you listened to that conversation as well.
Booker T entrance, all from the announcing table. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think that Ziggler's going to win.
Lee?
Ziggler is my pick.
I'm going to go with, it's got to be, in my mind, 3 names. So I'll narrow it down to one in a minute, but it's got to be either Sheamus, John Cena, or the loser of The Rock versus Punk. It's got to be one of those 3. It can't be anybody else. I think it's likely going to be John Cena. I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be John Cena.
See, going on that note, Lee, I think that I could definitely see Rock losing the match and then winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think it's very likely. Very
but
likely
I think
that may happen.
But in that instance, Ziggler will be the last one eliminated.
Do you want to give who you think is going to be the final 4? Have you thought that much into the match?
Okay then. Thanks for that. I'm going to go with the final 4: John Cena, CM Punk, Sheamus, and Orton.
Joe, do you got a final 4?
Ziggler, Rock. Let me scroll the list here. Ziggler, Rock, Ryback, and Barrett.
Oh, nice. I like Wade Barrett.
I think he's a good dark horse this year for the Royal Rumble. I thought he had a chance to win it last year. He was actually one of my 2 predictions. Every year I like to predict a Raw and SmackDown guy. This year my predictions are either Orton or CM Punk. If I had to narrow it down to one, I think Randy Orton's gonna win the Rumble this year. It's I want to see him finally do that heel turn, and some weeks they tease it, and some weeks they just don't even mention it, and it's just all forgotten about. But like the last 2 weeks, they've been really emphasizing that group hug that he did with Team Hell No, and someone pointed out to me, they could be him. He could say that he's not a man anymore, and that he's getting soft, and that could lead to a heel turn and a good match with him at WrestleMania. What's that?
Kind of like what Kane did.
Yeah.
So he's not a man anymore. Wait a minute. Go back. So because she hugs someone, he's not a man anymore.
or that he's going soft. You know, in his character's head.
So Mike Kupach of PW Talk just said Randy Orton's normal hard during the match. Just putting it out there.
He said what?
So you said he's going soft, so he's normally hard during the match.
Yes. That's the way. That is the Viper I like.
I bet he has a huge Viper just for you.
Whoa!
You know when Michael Cole's doing that vicious commentary when Randy Orton comes on, and the Viper is striking now. It's just all directed.
Uh-oh, here comes the Viper's venom.
Lee, your American accent is getting better. I have to say.
Getting better.
Juliet, your thoughts on the Rumble.
This is such a classy show.
I think the only way that Ziggler could win this is if Big E Langston enters the Royal Rumble and helps him out. That's like the only believable way I think Ziggler could win. But I'm gonna go between Cena and Ryback is winning. I'd like
Ryback
to see.
might be a call.
I'd like to see Punk enter and win, but I think they're going to be pushing either Cena or Ryback.
Ryback's a good one that we haven't talked about. Ryback could potentially face probably, the World Heavyweight Championship. Ryback's a good call.
Yeah,
he's another good dark horse.
Yeah, I definitely like Ryback.
I think one of the reasons do what?
I was just saying that I definitely like Ryback. He would be in my top 4 to get the pick. But I don't know. I disagree with you, Julia. I think Dolph can win on his own. I think Big E Langston will probably play a role, but I still think my pick is Dolph winning it all.
Why can't they do what Vince did in like '99, and he could just leave the ring and then get chased off for a bit and come back later on?
Yeah, I mean they could do something like that. But I mean, I think Big E Langston doesn't even have to be entered to make an impact. He could just come down any time, beat the crap out of people. As long as he's throwing people out of the ring, they're leaving over the top rope. That counts as an elimination. Doesn't matter if the person who's throwing them out is valid or not.
Okay.
How many times have we seen some guy come out, who gets eliminated, then immediately go and just grab the other guy and rip him down? It can happen. So I definitely see that, but I don't think they're going to quote unquote waste a spot in the Rumble for Big E Langston, only because we haven't seen him in a match. I mean, that's the downfall to me to Big E Langston is he hasn't been in a match on WWE TV yet.
Technically though, Joe, the Royal Rumble match isn't technically a match, if you know what I mean. Like when he goes in it, he's technically not like wrestling. It's just kind of like throwing someone over the top of.
See, but I kind of get what Joe's saying,
I'm saying he's not an official entrant into the Rumble. He's not one of the 30. He's just going to be a guy who comes out and starts pulling people out. We've seen managers do it too.
Yeah, I get what Joe's saying, that they kind of want to protect Big E Langston since he hasn't had a match, and if he's in the Rumble and he's this big guy who just gets eliminated, it's not a big deal being made of it. That could tarnish his credibility a little bit, take away some of his mystique.
Real quick, do you think that Ryback will beat Kane's record as far as eliminating the most people? I think Kane had 11. Do you think Ryback's going to eliminate more people?
I don't think there's too many jobber guys in this Rumble. Kane eliminated a lot of lower card jobbers when he did his 11 guys. I don't. These are a lot of decent names that are in the Rumble this year. When we look at it, each of us has a different pick of who we think is going to win. I think that that's what creates the most interesting Rumbles, when you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and if JTG comes in the Rumble, if JTG actually comes in the Rumble, that is a waste of a spot. I mean, for Christ's sake, you could probably name about 10 people off the top of your head that'd be better more than JTG. In fact, you can name 100 people, even the agents, even the bloody the canteen staff, the production crew, Marty the cameraman, Michael Cole, Justin Roberts, the security guys, the fans.
Don't forget Brad Maddox.
Yes.
Brad Maddox, yeah, that's a good call as well. And his cameraman.
That's a name that we left out of the punk rock match, Brad Maddox. And if he's going to do something based off of his deal that he made with Heyman last Monday.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't even want to go back and think about it. Looking at the possible surprise entrance, though, we got a good list. We got Undertaker, Mark Henry, Booker T, Jack Swagger, John Morrison, Billy Gunn, John Laurinaitis, Chris Jericho, Christian, MVP, Ric Flair, and Rey Mysterio.
What's left off that list is Road Dogg.
Yeah, Road Dogg. I just think since he was in there last year, they might just put Billy Gunn in. Now Billy Gunn's back in the good graces of the company. So, here's the other Outlaw this year. Of those names, I don't think we'll see Booker T. I don't think we'll see Jack Swagger. I don't think we'll see Chris Jericho, MVP, or Ric Flair. Undertaker, boy, that was a strong rumor about a month and a half, 2 months ago that he was going to be making his return to the Rumble. I haven't heard too much about it since then. Same with Mark Henry. I don't know where Christian is with his injury. I don't know how close he is to coming back. But a guy like I think Rey Mysterio will be in there.
Mike, do you think? I don't think you'll see Mysterio because he's
no, I don't think he's
injured.
Mysterio either.
But
he's not injured, no.
But do you think that Christian coming back in the Rumble is going to have any impact?
No, I don't think so. I think it would get a good pop from the crowd, but it'd be a decent way to bring him back onto TV.
What would give Christian a bigger pop is if he went back to his old entrance music.
Christian.
No, not that one. No, not that one.
You're on. Anyway.
No, it's not. It's not that one. It's the other one. It's the one after that. The same music now, but by the other band.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that
one. Is that your ringtone?
No, it's just
it's my ringtone.
It's actually my ringtone for Lee. I
have that ringtone for whenever Harrison's cousin calls me.
Just for the record, I never text him, so he never normally texts.
I should note that there are strong rumors about
anyway.
Shelton Benjamin and Carlito. I guess they are both in town. They both have indie events scheduled tonight, actually. So it's possible that we might see them. I know there's been a lot of rumors surrounding Shelton Benjamin. He asked for his release in ROH, so he is available.
I'd take Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin is someone who would just put on a great match. I'd take him straight back. Same with John Morrison.
Ooh, any word on MVP?
MVP has denied everything. He says he's not coming, but who knows?
I doubt he'll be there either. I doubt he'll be there, to be honest. No, Mike, he'll turn up, but no, I don't.
Because I would love to. I would love to. I would love to see him MVP and Shelton Benjamin as a tag team.
Yeah, I could see it.
Who would Shelton Benjamin?
MVP and Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good team. Gosh, was it? With these NXT guys, this tournament, you talked about Luke Harper, Xavier Woods. He used to be Consequences Creed.
Yes.
Yep.
Bo Dallas, was he Husky Harris?
No, Bo Dallas. Someone's son. IRS's son, I think.
That would be Husky Harris. Yes.
No, they're not. Hold on.
Bo Dallas. NXT Wrestling. Taylor Rotunda.
Oh yeah, right, Rotunda.
Didn't Rotunda get arrested? Or was that someone else?
No idea.
I'm serious.
Did he not pay his taxes?
No, I seem to remember last year he got. Jesus Christ.
Whenever I come to Cleveland, I think of tax cheats.
So do I, to be fair, so do I.
All right,
You've never been to Cleveland.
I don't need to go to Cleveland.
But I was just going to make a quick point about the NXT guy.
Okay.
If it's possible that could be like another guy to join the Shield. Bring them on, be a fourth member. I don't know, just thought I had. That's it for me.
All right, well, yeah, that's the Royal Rumble.
What about the emergent? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, that's it.
Anything else that you guys think about the show? Obviously, I think we're all going to be watching it. It's the Royal Rumble. It's one of those pay-per-views that you just can't miss because of how awesome the Rumble match usually is. So, any other thoughts before we close out tonight? I
mean, the only thing they could do to ruin the Royal Rumble was make it 40 men. that was an awful
What?
Rumble. So
If 30's awesome, 40 must be better.
Fuck it, go to 50 and see what happens.
Then you're getting into a World War III match, and we don't really need that, do we?
50 people. Can you imagine the amount of people in that Rumble? There would be literally everybody from the house show opener.
Well, that's the question. What was the most WCW did in their events?
They did 60 men with World War III.
Yeah, 3 rings, and once 40 of them got eliminated, then they went to 1 ring.
I think it was like 10 or 15. I ordered it every year, and I've
way too much.
Yeah, that is quite a lot.
I think if they did 50 or 60, they'd have to bring back guys like, Test and Eddie Guerrero to be in the Rumble. Pop open the casket, roll them.
Jesus Christ, where are your morals?
He did a good pop.
Yeah, Owen Hart.
Fantastic.
Owen Hart would just drop from the rafters into the ring.
This show is going lower by the second.
Yeah, at 9.8 meters per second.
All right, and on that note,
Chris Benoit and add it to it.
On that note, let's close up, guys. All right, so that's the show. We're all pretty excited about the Royal Rumble. Why not check out ftwpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future on our news. And all of our news. FTW Draft is going on. Also, rate us on iTunes. We totally love iTunes ratings. I hear 6 is attainable, so try and get us up there. Let's start off with Mike. Plugs. What do you got to plug today?
You can check. I will be live tweeting during the pay-per-view tomorrow at MJQPack. So follow me and get my thoughts on the show as it goes on. Also, every week I review main event for pwtorch.com. I also do a analysis blog for SmackDown each and every Friday. So go to pwtorch.com and check it out.
Check out your capital letters.
And Juliet, where can people find you?
I talk about wrestling on Twitter. They can find me at JulietW80. And I can say more stupid things like Dolph's going to cash in on the WWE title.
Harrison's made that mistake too.
Harrison got Kozlov and who confused.
AJ?
That was really bad. Yeah, pretty much.
AJ?
I don't put it past him.
Not me. There couldn't have been more two opposite people in the world. Kozlov and AJ.
Oh, here comes the great colleague. Oh, that's Rey Mysterio. Way to go, Harrison.
All right, and we want to thank everyone in the live chat. You guys have been great. We record every FTW episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time at ftwlive.com.
Yeah, 1 a.m. Harrison.
Yep. We will see you guys. We'll see you for the Royal Rumble. We'll be live tweeting, and then otherwise, we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks a lot.